What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates every day on Bitcoin. We're going to be taking a look at the charts. Are we going to see 9,700 or 13,000 next? We're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at the possibilities. Could be a very interesting weekend. Definitely stick around. And don't forget, we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's totally free. Great community, guys. And let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own due diligence and research before investing in any markets. I want to remind you guys, we are doing a Kobo Vault Generation 2 hard wallet giveaway. We will be doing that on Sunday. All you have to do to enter to win is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, smash that thumbs up button, and leave your comment down below. I'll be picking a random comment from a random video throughout the week to pick the winner. And definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's an air-gapped wallet, which means you don't have to plug it into your computer. It never has anything to do with your computer. It's done all through QR codes. That's how you sign your transactions. Definitely, these are by far, I use this and ELLIPAL the most. Also Ledger, I have a Ledger that I use a little less than I used to. I really like the Kobo Vault and the ELLIPAL. The design's awesome. It's just real simple to use, and I just feel much safer using it. But anyways, that's that. Let's take a look at the news headlines. If any of you are looking to get into crypto enough to actually, change your life, quit your job, as I have done now, let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious to see how many people are working towards that. And I'm not talking about get rich quick. I'm talking about being in crypto, learning how to trade, and supporting yourself that way. Anyways, I'm curious to see how many people out there are looking to do something like that. All right, let's get a feel for the sentiment. In a world where central banks issue digital currencies, Bitcoin and Libra may find a place. That's on CNBC. Sounds pretty interesting. Go check it out if you want to read about it. Ren just had a great week, and demand for Bitcoin on DeFi rises. I'm not a fan of DeFi, as you guys know. I think it's just another hype cycle, kind of like the ICOs, but that's my opinion. Make your own. The Bitcoiners who live permanently, not there. Stablecoin demand may drop if traders abandon Bitcoin. Cash and carry strategy. Can Bitcoin be sued? All this other stuff's kind of old, so nothing real crazy in the news. Bitcoin and altcoins consolidate losses above key support. So nothing big in the news really as of right now. The fear and greed index is at 75. It is 5 points down from yesterday. Still in the greed zone, although we did fall out of the extreme greed. Let's take a look at the monthly. So as you guys know, if you watch the channel, this yellow dotted line is a pretty big deal to me. You'll see it throughout the different charts, all the way down to the smaller time frames. But as of right now, on the monthly, it lies around 11,200, 11,300 range. A close above this, I think, could be very bad news for Bitcoin. But let's take a look at the bullish case. The bullish case, looking at this, is a triangle and the dark white lines. Trend lines, the breakout of that is around the $27,000 range. But if you notice, we are making higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. That is bearish divergence. Although it's in the monthly, nothing says it has to play out, but it does look to me that it's most likely going to play out, be bearish, maybe come back down and test this arc. So look at the weekly. So in the weekly, same thing. We have our 27,000 for the super bullish case scenario. We also have a target around the 15,900 to 16,000, which is looking at this. Zoom in so you can see it. The yellow lines here, the falling broadening wedge, and the measured move of where it broke out there gets us to about that $16,000 range. Those are the bullish case scenarios, guys. And again, we'll talk about this yellow dotted line here, this trend line here. And right now on the weekly, lies around 11,250. If we were to come back down and test that, that's where it would be. If that was the break, we could be coming all the way back down to test this white trend line about 9170 area. Depending on where we hit it, it is a declining trend line. And if we came all the way back down to the yellow, could be around, 7,200, 7,600, somewhere in that area, depending on where it fell. But remember, we have our 200 EMA down here on the weekly at about 6,000. One of the things we've been watching here is this triangle in the weekly RSI. The one reason I think we could definitely see another jump up this weekend would be to come test this weekly trend line up top on the RSI. As you can see, I have it labeled A, B, C. This would be D, and then E down here, and then we could be going to the moon after that, but I think this could be a very big drop here, guys. I still believe that's definitely a huge possibility. I know a lot of people are saying, never below 10K. Now people are starting to look at the 97 gap, saying that might be the bottom here. I think we still have a good possibility. I'm not ruling out that we go much lower. So keep that in mind, guys. Just try to, not let the FOMO and the craziness and the overhyped people get to you. Kind of really look at the charts for what they are, especially if you're looking to do this as a living. And guys, you can do it. Don't let anybody tell you can't. If you want to try learning to trade, you can lose a lot of money, but if you start out small and learn what you're doing, have patience, don't over leverage, and actually learn how to trade, you can make a living and feel the freedom of not having to go to work every day. It's definitely possible. Like I said, don't let anybody tell you you can't. I just finally quit a 6-figure job about a couple weeks ago, actually a little over a week ago. So anyways, let's move on. This is Prime XBT. I will leave a tutorial up top. This is a great trading exchange, guys. You can trade Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, Forex, S&P, Dow Jones, oil, gold, silver, whatever you want from this one exchange. It makes it super simple. They don't trade against you like most other exchanges, just looking to hit people's stops and liquidate you, and they make money off it with crazy wicks that don't match other exchanges. So be aware of that. Like I said, they don't trade against you. By far my favorite exchange. Definitely check it out. You can trade all of that stuff on margin too. So check it out if you haven't already. Use the promo code Savvy50. That will get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit up to 1 Bitcoin. Savvy25 will get you 25% off of your trading fees for 1 month. So pretty good deal. Check it out. Like I said, just don't put in more than you're willing to lose. You can start out with real small amounts. You don't have to do high leverage and get all crazy, guys, while you're learning. So, and for those that are experienced, that 50% on top of whatever you deposit up to 1 Bitcoin can be a huge help because you could use it towards your margin. And let's take a look at the daily. So on the daily, we took a look at this yesterday as a possible rising broadening wedge with a target down here around the 3,600. Again, guys, it doesn't have to go down there, but be aware there is a CME gap down here. There's also one around, I think it's 76, and then we have our 9,700 CME gap. So keep that in mind if you are, even for the hodlers, so you don't panic if it does fall. Just expect or know that it can. But I know a lot of people are looking at this as a inverse head and shoulders. I'll draw that in there as the bullish case. And like I said, it's up to you guys to make up your mind on what you think's going on and do your own analysis. But that would be the left shoulder head. This would be the right shoulder here. Although I've said many times I don't believe that's the case. But who am I? I am just a guy on the internet. And let's take a measured move. Measure the head, put it up to the neckline where it broke out. Gets us up to about $17,000. But again, a drop below this 10.5, we could be looking to come retest this trend line around 82. There will also be another trend line that could possibly give us some support, depending on where we hit it, around the $9,300, $9,400 range. So, and that's just going off of these wicks down here. Actually, it'd be a little bit. Let's put it like this and see where that would get us. Depending on where we hit it, that would get around that 96, 9,700. So if that holds, obviously that could just close that gap and go up from there. But let's look at the daily RSI. Same thing, rising wedge. As you can see, we came up here, got resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance again. Do we come down and test this support? Like I said, this weekend we could still get a push up, you know, to fake everyone out before coming down to test this. But I believe if we break this in the daily RSI and close the daily below this, either this weekend or beginning of next week, it's going to be very bearish, guys. That would be a good opportunity to short, in my opinion. Another way to help support the channel is inkyourimage.com, my wife's webpage. Check it out. She's got a lot of cool crypto stuff on here. You don't have to put just what you see. You can put anything you want on any of this stuff, whether it be just a funny saying or another crypto or whatever. They make great gifts. Check it out. It's quality stuff, not your junk that you see in most places. But anyways, all right, there's a few different ways I want to look at this daily here. We've been watching this rising broadening wedge that we dropped out of back in March. And to come up and retest that trend line would be around the $13,000 range. And that's where I'm talking about. If we do get a push up, we could go as high as that 13. If we break above this trend line here and get support on it and a bounce, that's where I become super bullish. And that probably would be the weekly closing above the trend line that I showed you in the weekly RSI chart. But as of right now, I'm still looking for, like I said, we could go as high as the 13 this weekend. We might get a crazy weekend pump. But keep an eye on the trend line down here. And if it was to come down today, would be around 11,250. Tomorrow, you know, each day it would drop by about $10. So think about that. Make sure you draw these trend lines in. These are off of the wicks, guys. So a break of that 11,200, obviously we'd be looking for support around that 10,500. If that broke, we'd be looking around 9,500 to 9,600, depending on where it went down here. If this breaks and we close the daily below that, it could get very ugly very fast. People seem to forget how fast Bitcoin can drop. Just make sure you keep that in mind. You see what happened over here, and let's look at the RSI over there. We could draw a trend line right here. And as you can see, what happened when we broke that trend line right there. Boom, that's what started the drop. And then you see what happened after that. We could definitely see the same thing here, guys. Don't be fooled and think that it's an automatic bull run. We're going to 100,000. Be careful there, guys. There's nothing saying that we're in a pure bull run, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are saying that. Just be cautious. Not saying that we're not, because we could be, but I'm not convinced yet. I will let you know if I do get convinced. That weekly RSI is going to be huge to me, guys. All right, let's take a look at this in the daily. So if we have topped out here, we put the Fibonacci retracement from the swing low to the swing high. These would be the Fibonacci retracements, and that's if we don't come up to the 13,000. If we do come up to the 13,000, all those retracement levels move. But let's keep it here for now, assuming we've topped out. Our first, and that lines up perfectly with our neckline here for the 0.236 fib at $10,450 to $10,500 range. If that doesn't hold, we could be looking at 9,200, which is a 0.386. That doesn't hold. 8177 is a 0.5 fib, and then we have our golden pocket zone. 7180, right in that range. If we went down to the 0.65, could be 6,900 to 7,200. Let's say would be the golden pocket zone. And if we look at this, the purple line here, trend line that we broke out of here in the rising broadening wedge. If we look at that as the top of a wedge, and we came down and broke this bottom trend line here off of, there's probably about 6 or 7 touches in here, the one touch down here, depending on where we break. If we broke here around the 10,800, we could be looking at the measured move of that would be around 6,000. We also have our 0.786 fib, which is around 5,700. And then, of course, if that was to break, we could be looking to go close that 35, I think it's $3,570 gap down there in the CME futures. And you can see that all the way up to the 8-hour, maybe even the 12-hour. I'm not sure. But, yeah, just the weekly RSI is going to be key, guys. We need to keep an eye on that. So let's look at... All right, this was from yesterday. This is the 1-hour chart. Let's zoom in. Let me get the RSI off of there. So I was watching this as a triangle. We had talked about this a couple days ago, and this is exactly what happened. If you look at my video a couple days ago, I'm not going to play it like other guys do to try to, you know, pat myself on the back. But I did show you guys that we could break up here, and then it'd be a fake out and come right back down into here, and then we would have to watch this bottom trend line. But you can see where I got the arrow here. We did already pierce that. In my opinion, that means we're most likely going to come down and break this bottom trend line because we already have pierced it once. Now let's take a look at another bullish case here. If you look at this, you can see the white dotted lines as a falling broadening wedge. If we take a look at where we broke out of that, broke that top trend line there, and we bring it up, where does that get us? This could be the weekend pump that I was talking about. Let's see where that goes to. So as of right now, there's really not a trade unless we break that bottom trend line. Might get a nice trade in if we break this top trend line around 2022. But we'll look at yesterday's targets too, because our one target did hit. And let's put a target up here. 13,000. Look at that. Definitely a possibility if this is a falling broadening wedge. But as of right now, we had been watching this. Let's watch the top of this. And that's around the 12,030 range. If we do break above that, guys, there's a good chance we might see 13,000 this weekend. Maybe even not till the beginning of next week. But it's definitely possible. As of right now, it seems that we are getting support on the top of that wedge. Let's look at yesterday's targets. If you guys watched the video, you'll know. We were looking at this as a rising wedge. And to do a measured move of the rising wedge, just like this, we put it over here to where it broke. Right after we made the video, it broke there. We watched it on the Discord channel. But that was a measured move of 11,664. Obviously, we wicked past that. We got down to 11,568. We did have a target here, the bottom of that trend line, 11,600. As you can see, we just barely wicked past that. And let's put this over here now. Depending, this is the hourly chart, so we're going to put it up in this area. 11,000, let's say 11,650. Depends, like I said, if we drop down and test this line. If this breaks, guys, let's do a measured move of what we could be looking at. So if we break that, let me get this out of here now since we've already hit it. 11,667-ish, somewhere in there. If we take a look at that and look at it as this whole thing as a wedge, and a break of that, we're going to actually move this up a little bit. That would give us a target of around 10,100. Obviously, a break of that gets way more bearish. We still have a target. We can actually move this one up now. Actually, it stays about the same, about 8,400. And that would be measuring just this move up to where we broke down here. And there, we could also draw this in different as a rising channel, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me zoom in a little bit, get this stuff out of the way. And that would give us a different measured move. But let's say, just go from here once, off of these wicks, down to here. And let's see, this would actually come down a little bit. Let's do a measured move there. That will give us a little bit different measured move of the breakdown. And that would get us around the $10,600 range. But guys, remember that gap is down there at the 9,600. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at. There's really no trade, guys, that would be safe to me unless we break above this 12,030 area. could be a nice place to put in a long, put in your stop losses just below the break. And if we break that 11,650 to 600 and let's say 11,650 range within the next day or so, we could at least go down to the 11.4. I would definitely put a short in there and then put a stop right above the breakdown, and then follow it down. And once you're happy with coming down a little bit, getting into some profit, move your stops into either profit or break even. That way, at least it was a free trade. Worst case, if it shoots up, and either way, if you're long or short here, I would do that. Put your stops into profit as soon as you can. But anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. You can subscribe by clicking your CryptoSavy logo above my head. I will also leave you some tutorial videos here on the side. Just some quick little easy lessons if you want to check them out. And yeah, don't forget to smash the likes, guys. Leave your comments down below. I'm out of here. Take it easy.